On the line right now, our good friend Bret Baier from the Fox News Channel, host of Special Report on Fox News. How are you, Bret?
Good morning.
Well, so we're in day what? What is today? The 2020, day 25 of a non-working Obamacare website. No sign that it's going to get fixed anytime soon. There was big hearings on Capitol Hill about this yesterday. And I don't know about you, but I walked away thinking they're not going to have this thing fixed anytime soon.
Yeah, it didn't seem encouraging. And, you know, the back and forth about how this happened and who knows what when, I think is really interesting. It also won't die that soon. Politically speaking, you know, this is pretty interesting timing. Republicans took a big hit after the shutdown, debt ceiling increase back and forth, and you saw it in the polls. Now, if, as is expected, there is some sort of delay, and many Democrats are pushing for that, either of the individual mandate or an extension of the enrollment period, a significant extension, there will be Republicans who say, hey, listen, you know, we had votes on that back in July.
Yeah, could have saved ourselves a lot there. Well, and we've got a poll coming out right now. It just hit. There's a brand new poll that says the majority of Americans want a delay in Obamacare. That could really, I mean, maybe they should start the statement when they do announce the delay with, okay, Ted Cruz was right.
Yeah, I mean, tactically, there will be Republicans, obviously, who say, you know, Ted Cruz, it wasn't the right way to go about it. But substantively, if you end up with a delay, I mean, that was one of the votes in the whole shutdown showdown. And, you know, listen, everything revolves around politics here in Washington, but it is a bit of a saving grace that it happens so close to what was a big hit for Republicans. And now you have to see where Obamacare goes from here.
Well, you know, I was always of the opinion that the delay tactic was the one that the Republicans should have started with. I'm wondering now, I mean, it's all hindsight 2020, but I'm wondering now if that might not have been the better approach, that they might have actually, you know, been able to pick off enough votes to have prevailed in that matter, if they had started with delay instead of defund. Yeah,
I think you're right. And I also think, you know, let's be clear that a lot of these Democrats who are coming out saying we're now for delay are doing so because the website is so screwed up. I mean, and that issue has kind of risen this whole thing to a different prominence level. But I do think that you're right, that starting with that probably could have gotten some red state Democrats. I mean, you're seeing them fall off left and right.
Bret Baier, I've always been a little personally jealous of you. I mean, you've got a great family, a beautiful wife. You get to do Special Report on Fox News, which is, you know, just one of the best news programs out there. A great golf game. But really what I'm really jealous of is that almost every night you get to sit at that round table with the incredible intellect of Charles Krauthammer.
That is a great honor, isn't it?
It is a great honor.
I understand you have a special tonight about Charles specifically and about his new book.
Yeah, it is a great thing. If you are not going to be home at 10 o'clock Eastern time tonight, set the DVR, because we've been working on this for a while. It actually took a long time to convince Charles to do it. I've been wanting to do this hour for, I'd say, 3 or 4 years. He finally wrote a book, and his publisher, I think, said, this is something you should do. So we spent the last 5-6 months interviews, doing various things, and Charles opens up like he's never opened up before. He talks about his accident, he talks about his life, he talks about his family. It's really quite something.
It's remarkable to me. I see people on Facebook post pictures of, you know, I met Charles Krauthammer today, and people comment on the picture and say, he's in a wheelchair? What happened? A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. It is shocking to me. I'm just curious, Bret, does he talk about how that accident actually informed his view on life?
It does. He does. It's really introspective, and it's really well, it's really inspirational, frankly. He writes about it in his book in a number of columns, but you have to have the code to kind of to interpret what those columns may mean to his life. And we do that through this hour. Yeah. And I think it's really worth watching.
People don't know what a nice guy he is. I've often people say, "Well, what's Charles Krauthammer like?" I said, one of the things, he's a really nice fellow, but when you talk to him just in the hallway, he imparts wisdom even in those conversations. And I've often been like having a hallway conversation with him, and I walk away, and he says something bright. I say, "Pulitzer Prize winner here, Charles Krauthammer." I mean, he is so smart.
No, he is. He really is. He speaks in verbal op-ed. And he's also got a great wit, and he's very, very funny. He's a good friend of mine, and I was happy to be able to work on this.
Well, Bret, I mentioned all the things that I'm jealous of you about. I left one thing out. You're also a really good rapper. Yes, I did see that. I saw the video.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's still floating around YouTube someplace.
Well, listen, as you look at the news cycle going into the weekend here, Bret, and the Sunday shows are looming. Is this Obamacare website thing? I know the president's trying to spin it and say, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, is about a lot more than just a website. Is that message going to stick, or is this the problems they're having really going to overshadow any kind of spin they can do?
I tell you, I think that it's going to open the door to questions about the other substantive part of Obamacare, because some people are looking at these comparison shopping and not seeing great things across the board. Some are seeing less premiums, but looking at deductibles that are higher. The shopping for all that was billed is not as great across the board in every state, and I think that's going to be a big part of the story. But the website itself is now in the crosshairs.
You have been one of those who has followed the Benghazi story, as we have here on this program. I noted last night, I don't mean to talk about one of your competitors, but 60 Minutes apparently is going to do some kind of big Benghazi piece this weekend. What are you hearing about that, and are there new developments?
I think there are. And I'm really happy that 60 Minutes is doing it. I think it takes it to a level beyond where the administration is just saying, "Oh, it's Fox trying to stir up Benghazi." I mean, I've heard that many times, despite the fact that CNN did something an hour and others have done stories. I'm excited to see the Lara Logan thing. I do think there are developments. They talked to someone who was on the ground. They also, I think, have some new classified documents that shed some light on some things. We have been having a number of stories this week, Catherine Herridge, James Rosen, and I think we might have a development today, too. So
wow.
I think that it is one of these stories that you have to stick with it. Otherwise, a lot of people just turn the page, and there's a lot more to report there.
All right. Well, listen, Bret Baier, we'll be watching. I'll definitely be watching to find out if there's a new development on your show tonight. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Okay, and don't forget the Charles special at 10.
Starts at 10. All right, thanks a lot.
All right.